In my previous video, I reviewed the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE, a great toned-down version of the S series, and I purchased that instead because of a better deal. However, if I didn't see that promo price drop, I may end up getting their A series of phones. One of which is what I call the darling of the series, the A53 5G, which has a great user following and praised by reviewers last year that has a perfect quote-unquote decent everyday phone for consumers. However, with a month or two away from the next A series launch this year, should you buy this instead of waiting? Hey guys, James here, your tech buddy, and this is Tech M.N.O. Let's answer if the Samsung Galaxy A53 is worth buying this 2023. Alright, let's start the video now with a quick unboxing. Let's cut the seal now, lift it up, and we can see the phone itself. Set that aside for a moment, and we can see a small box that contains the SIM ejector pin, manuals, and the USB-C to C cable for charging. And if you know by now or you're living under a rock, there's no more charger included out of the box. Yeah. Deal with it. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer that this phone was not provided by Samsung or any other companies nor entities here in the Philippines. All of the things I'll say are mine only, and no one has advanced copies nor additional input in this review. And if you're interested, you can buy this phone right now in the product link in the description below. Alright, let's start now with the design and the most obvious part of it. Yes, the back design and the chassis and the buttons are unapologetically plastic. But is it just me, or does it kind of look like a scaled down version of the S22 or S20 Ultra or the Note 20 Ultra? Minus the S Pen, of course. Though the notable feature here is the IP68 dust and water resistance, which is present to some flagship phones. One thing is for sure here, it has a great hand-feeling display in the middle between a not so small and not so big phones here. It feels premium, and the matte finish is simple yet sophisticated. Though I should warn you that the back is still a slippery and a smudge magnet, so better stay away with the black colorway here and get the white, blue, or peach instead. And sadly, there's no more headphone jack here on this phone. Wonk wonk. Alright, let's talk about the display of the A53 now. The 6.5-inch Full HD Plus Super AMOLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate, out to 800 nits of peak brightness, 405 pixels per inch, and has a Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection, and a quite symmetrical borders here is great for regular use, watching movies on Netflix with its Widevine L1 support, or playing games on this phone. Even though it's not a dynamic AMOLED panel just like on my S21 FE now, which is more vivid than this phone, you can still get the signature deep blacks and punchy colors here. Plus, its 120Hz refresh rate, it's so smooth even when the scrolling to your Twitter feeds is great. However, it's not an adaptive panel, so it won't go down to 60 or even 1 Hz if you don't interact with the screen here, which is still okay for me in this price range. Let's talk about its software here, which is setting up the standards to its competition on mid-range phones now. At launch, it's rocking One UI 4 on top of Android 12. But at the time of this recording, the Galaxy A53 runs now on One UI 5 on top of Android 13. The best part is these phones are the first mid-range phones alongside its younger brother, the A33, who will have 4 Android upgrades and 5 years of security patches. In terms of ease of use and the overall experience, it's easy to use. Bloatware might be too much at first, but it's minimal effort setting up because majority of the nuanced apps are removable, and it's one-handed friendly, and the settings are clean and organized. I just wish that Samsung will give us an option to have a vertical scroll app drawer here and not just the horizontal page-like drawer. Alright, let's talk about the battery and the charging of the A53. It has a BP 5000 mAh battery capacity and supports 25 watts of charging via the USB-C to C cable on the box. Oh, did I forget something to mention? If you're living under the rock again or something, there's no charger included out of the box, so you need to buy this one separately. Lucky for me, the store where I bought this has a free adapter included on my purchase. Charging the phone from 0 to 100 clocks in around 1 hour 30 minutes on average. Slower than the competition, but it's for the name of battery longevity. In my 2 weeks of using this phone, I can get an average screen on time between 8 to 9 hours if casual usage, and 5 to 6 hours if heavy usage. That's with Wi-Fi turned on and brightness is set at 20%. But I'm just wondering why the margins between the casual and the heavy usage has a 3 to 4 hour differences. Maybe because the processor cannot carry much heavier tasks, or maybe because the battery software algorithm is still not optimized, as some people are telling me when I got the S21 FE as my daily driver phone. More about it later. Before we go any further, if you enjoy watching this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get you notified when a brand new video will come out. And follow us on our social media accounts like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok at M.N.O for more content and big giveaways that we have right now that you can check out in the card right here. Alright, let's move on to its audio and networks, and I will start with the saddest part. Compared to its predecessor, the Galaxy A53 does not have a headphone jack now, which is quite expected, but still a bummer for me because some manufacturers now are moving it on the mid-range segments as well. However, the great part is the Galaxy A53 has a stereo speaker setup here with the earpiece acting up as a second channel. The quality here is good and with nice details, balance, and vocals are great. However, songs with bass forward elements may be the weakest points here, and there's a tiny bit of distortion there if you play at full volume. I should note here that some of the time when I pause a video and then I resume listening or watching a video on TikTok or YouTube, the audio goes on mute even if the volume is on max. I think there's a software bug or some sort here, but I think it will be fixed in the next update. In terms of network performance, the 5G data speed here is consistent. Wi-Fi connection is good-ish. Bluetooth is what you've expected, NFC is available, and GPS is spot on in my full testing period. Let's go ahead with one of the most important parts of the review, the camera. The Galaxy A53 consists of a 64 megapixel main rear camera, 12 megapixel for ultra-wide, and a twin 5 megapixel lens for depth and macro, which again, another filler lens is present here. And for the selfie camera, it has a 32 megapixel lens. The daylight shots on the rear camera are good, but I wish it could be a bit better, especially when we look up to the competition. Details are good, noise is manageable, though colors and contrast are not on the natural side, so it will depend on your preference if you like that type of result. Oh, by the way, the scene optimizer is not activated here to avoid oversaturation. The two cameras don't have the same color profile and some of the shots have mixed results. There's 2x zoom here, but it's a cropped version of the main camera. When switching from ultra-wide to the main wide camera, it took about half to almost a second, so you may miss some moments when you change lenses. Night shots are the same thing here. Good to almost great, but I wish that it could be a great to all cameras. Details are good, noise are manageable, sharpening plus subject separation is commendable, and shadows are good here as well. Night shots can kick in when the camera detects the light source is too low, but you can manually turn that on. But it may end up sometimes into a bit of aggressive territory. However, in ultra-wide, it's quite unenjoyable if you're the type of camera user that shoots in the dark all the time. It's quite dark and quite soft. Turning the night mode on, it might help most of the time, but I wish it could be better. Macro camera, meh. I should not give this some airtime in this review. In terms of the selfie camera, the 32 megapixels will take shots at 12 megapixels, and you can have two options in taking a shot. It's either in normal mode or in wide mode. By the way, once the camera detects there's more than one person in the frame, the wide setting will kick in automatically. The photo results here are enjoyable. Details are good, noise is low, and the subject separation is good, but for me, it needs improvement. Going to videos now, the Galaxy A53 can support 4K resolution in all of the usable cameras here. Main camera performance is good in detail, noise is manageable, but colors are not natural. Ultra-wide camera is a bit stale in quality. There's a bit of noise and the color profile is not the same as the main camera, though it's quite expected here. EIS is available as well, but it's only available at Full HD. Here is the sample video test for the Samsung Galaxy A53 5G. We are now at 4K at 30 frames per second. So what are your thoughts about the video quality of this phone? This is the sample recording test for the Samsung Galaxy A53 5G. We are now at 1080p at 60 frames per second. So what are your thoughts about the audio and video quality of this phone? Sound of the comment section down below. Finally, let's go to the performance part of the Galaxy A53, which for me is the make or break category of this phone. Compared to the Snapdragon 778G from its predecessor, the A52s, the chipset on the A53 is rocking the Exynos 1280, which is questionable up until now. Aside from the fact that this phone released last year with a chip shortage dilemma from brands all over the world. Pair that up with 8 gigs of RAM with either 128 or 256 gigs of internal storage, which I have here, with support with microSD card up to 1 terabyte, is good for casual to intermediate users who will scroll to TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or even watch YouTube every time. However, if you're looking for a great gaming phone, this might not meet your expectations, especially that the GPU is a mediocre Mali G68 inside the Exynos chip. Mobile Legends is enjoyable and playable here, but you're only limited to high graphics and high refresh rate. However, high-demanding games like Genshin Impact are only playable at medium settings at 60 FPS. However, there might be a frame drop, so if you want to avoid that, you can go low in 60 FPS. Thermal management is good, but of course, as some phones with even higher processing power may heat faster over time, so is the A53 as well. Now, with all the things I experienced on this phone, should I still recommend this to you? Well, let's check the price first. At the time of this recording, there's 2 remaining variants available of the Galaxy A53 to buy, either the 128 or 256 gig storage, but both have 8 gigs of RAM, and it's priced at 23,490 pesos or 25,990 pesos respectively, with US conversions posted on the screen right now. Let's begin with the 2 most important hurdles that could avoid you buying this phone. First up is the release of the new A-series phones that come maybe in March or April this year. If you can still wait for over 2 months and the price and performance ratio of the A54 is much better than this phone, this isn't the phone for you. And the last and might be the major hurdle of getting this phone, in my humble opinion, is its predecessor, the Galaxy A52s. At the time of this recording, you can still buy it at a very much cheaper price, below 16,000 pesos or $300 online. Though it's only 128 gigs of storage. That phone still has a headphone jack, same Super AMOLED screen, and has a chipset that is currently being used in the current expensive A73 phone. Though, the only thing that could be a saving grace of getting the A53 than this phone is the much battery performance and the assurance of the software support. Right now, Samsung isn't confirming if the A52s will support 2 more additional Android upgrades and 2 additional years of security patches. The same thing as this phone right here. Other than that, the Samsung Galaxy A53 is still a great buy for those users who want a good camera, good display, for watching a much better battery life also, and a decent day-to-day experience, and most importantly, a much longer software support than the competition if you're the type of user who doesn't change smartphones for more than 2 years. And if you can get this at a much cheaper price, then you can hit the jackpot here. Will you get this phone, or you may look somewhere else, or maybe you'll wait for the Galaxy A54? Let me know your answers in the comment section below. And for more review videos like this, including my Samsung Galaxy S21 FE review, you can check out my playlist right here. Or if you can watch my previous video, click right here. And don't forget to subscribe to my 2 channels. Again, I'm your tech buddy James, and I will catch you guys on the next one.